right, we're
Good.
live. Hello and welcome to this Substack Live. I'm Denise Wakeman, and my guest today is a longtime friend and colleague, and my video guru. I have to say, I go to him for all things video over the last 25 years. This is Lou Bortone. And Lou,
Hello.
in case there's a few people who may not know you, could you give your Cliff Notes
hmm
versions of your background in video and AI and everything?
Sure. Yep. Yep. I came from the TV biz, lived in Los Angeles for a while and did television there, then came back here and started to realize that online marketing and online was where it was all going. So then I went into online video, online marketing, and I've been doing that for the last 20 or so years. In the last few years, a heavy emphasis on AI. It's almost like, well, not because I wanted to, but because I had to lean into that. That's just, the way the world was going.
I think that's pretty typical for most of us who've been in the online marketing world is that, oh, okay,
Yeah.
AI, that's what's next. Let's see how it works, right? Well, today I wanted to specifically talk with you about your latest book, Refuse to be Irrelevant. It's got a longer subtitle too, but Refuse to be Irrelevant. That's really the key here because not only, I think you've really tapped into the zeitgeist right now amongst those of us who've been working online and working with clients online for since the dawn of the internet. And because I'm hearing it from colleagues and clients, I know probably you are. I'm seeing it, from other people talking about how do I keep up with all of this stuff and how do I avoid becoming irrelevant? So when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, you're talking about staying relevant. You're the video guru, and AI is in the mix there. So I thought this was the perfect, opportunity to talk with you about it. So when you were thinking about this, what was happening that at the moment that you started thinking, I need to write about this, that sort of you realized it needed to come out now?
Right. I think because it's one of those things that was waking me up in the middle of the night saying, oh my God, what if nobody watches my videos? What if nobody opens my emails? What if nobody returns my calls? All of a sudden you're like persona non grata because you didn't change with the times or you didn't keep up with AI and things that are just like doing a tectonic shift in the business. And the thing, people always talk about FOMO, and I started to talk about FOBO, like fear of becoming obsolete. I'm like, okay, my biggest fear is not that I'll screw up a video. My biggest fear is that somehow I'm going to kind of age out of the relevance.
Yeah, so
and it's an ego thing. But, I want people, there's a line in a Radiohead song that says, I want you to notice when I'm not around. It's like, that's all I want. That's not asking too much, is it?
Yeah, and there's a sentence that stood out for me in your book that, of course, I don't have memorized and I didn't write it down, but it's about, there's paraphrasing, there's so much slop out there, and it's just everybody can create as much content as they can possibly type prompts, and that is scary, but there's also an opportunity. And that's really what I want to focus on, is what the opportunity is, because this is, we don't want to be all doom and gloom. We have enough of that in our lives. So when you talk about, everybody using, AI, and it's all faster and to produce stuff, you also talk about, that's putting on a, that's starting to threaten, trust and credibility and authority. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it before we jumped on the call. It's like, sometimes you look at a photo on Facebook and you're like, it looks real, but did that really, like, my wife saw a picture of Trump sleeping and she's like, did he really fall asleep at a Knicks game? I'm like, it was on camera live. So I guess, but you don't know. So, I mean, basically, I came to this because I figure, like, okay, the internet that we all built our reputation on is pretty much gone because there's so much information out there, and I think it comes down to who do you trust, and what source is viable and truthful and relevant. Because I can look up how to take out my appendix on ChatGPT, but I'm still going to go to a surgeon if I have to do that. I'm not going to attempt it myself.
Speaking from experience, that's a good idea.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't mean to bring up any PTSD on the appendix thing, but yeah, it's just, and then there's just so much out there. Now it's going to come down to who do I believe, who do I trust, who do I want to go with, and that for me, the trust and relevance thing is sort of two sides of the same coin. So, and the reason I come back to video is because even though it's a lot easier to make videos and you can do it yourself, I still think that your face on camera is your best marketing asset because, well, AI can replace it, but it can't totally replace it.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling with, like, okay, how much do I do on HeyGen? Because I know now I can do an image that looks and sounds like me, but I don't know, that's just a fine line between, should I really be doing videos this way, or should I actually turn on the camera and talk in real life?
Okay, well, let's explore that. Because you experiment a lot. You're using a lot of different AI tools, which I really love to see what you're doing. And you also, for many years have done fun videos, not just business oriented videos, but you do a lot to kind of showcase what you can do with video, and so you make it fun. So that's so when we're at this point where our voices can be, like, the tone of our voice can be cloned and our image can be cloned, how do you reconcile that, or how do you let people know, or do you? You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people just put out AI stuff and don't say anything like, this was made with AI,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've mostly been using the avatar stuff for, like, if I say to ChatGPT, turn me into a Family Guy character, and then I'll put that on HeyGen and sort of speak through that. But that's more like okay, let me see if I can stop the scroll and do something that looks and sounds a little bit different. The other part of it is, like, sometimes you just got to show up on camera and be real. So, and I have clients who I say, yes, I can make you a video avatar, and I can make it sound just like you. And if you're not going to do a video at all, and the only way you'll do it is with HeyGen, then okay, that's better than nothing. But at some point, you have to be really transparent about it. Like, the way I would use it is I would say, okay, I'm doing a 6-module course. I'm going to come on at the beginning and, hey, yes, this is Lou. I'm real. Pinch me. And then I'm going to say, now I'm going to hand it over to Lou Bot, who's going to take you through the rest of the course. So I have no problem with that. That's, I think, just being efficient.
Right. Because I would imagine that if you're doing a Lou Bot, taking people through a course, you have actually developed the course. You, the real person, has developed the course. So, Do you ever get pushback on your AI videos?
Not really, because I think most people just realize that, it's just the way of the world, and, that's, some people are going to use it that way. And I mean, I don't really like the faceless videos, or somebody throws up a YouTube channel and puts 100 videos up there because they can, because that's just muddying the waters. And that's why I talk about relevance and trust, because, like, okay, now there's 10 times more content out there. Anybody can go to ChatGPT and suddenly be a video, still there, a video expert. But sorry, my camera went off. I'll be right back.
Okay.
This is the great thing about live.
Yes.
Okay, what was I talking about? There we go.
Anybody can throw up videos.
Yeah, you have to be able to sort through all that crap and say, okay, that's Denise. This is real. I know I can trust her. It's not somebody that just started talking about visibility 2 weeks ago.
Right. So you have, in your book, you talk about your AI video authority system. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I'm sure that's
I kind of
where
broke it
people
down
want to
to
know where to go, right?
yeah, it's kind of like I talk about sort of three engines. The first one is the visibility engine, which is, you certainly know all about that. You've got to be visible to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is the authority engine. That's about building trust online. And then the third one is really just about relevance. It's like, okay, if you suddenly become irrelevant, if you're talking about what people were talking about 3 years ago, then what they're talking about today, nobody's going to pay attention.
Right.
So the relevance piece of it is huge, because these days it's not easy to keep up and to be relevant. And we work in, like everything we do online is perishable because it's moving so quickly. So we have to stay on our toes and constantly change and evolve, and not just sort of do like, okay, well, what was working 3 years ago certainly isn't working anymore.
Right. Well, that's for sure. That's for sure. I think, and that's why I wanted to get you on here. So when you are working with a client or a group or something on those three pillars, how do you, not to give away all your secret sauce, but because I know people hire you for that, but just like, how do you work in the AI aspect of it so that people can still be efficient, but not give up their authority and their relevance? Whoops.
Yep. Oh, sorry about the camera. I'll try to fix that again. Come on. The video, guys. Camera keeps breaking. Hang on a
sec. For any of you, I will put the link to Lou's book in the show notes afterwards, and because it's worth taking a look at it. All right, so now we're back.
Yep. So the question was how to stay. How do I advise clients to do that?
Yeah.
A good example is like a podcast, because that's your content. The AI can amplify that content. I know you were on our podcast last week. So it's one thing to say, okay, here's a podcast. This is me. I'm talking about my authority, my relevance, whatever. But then the AI can say, okay, now let's repurpose this. Let's schedule it somewhere. Let's create a Claude skill that every time I put out a podcast, it automatically sends it to YouTube and Facebook. So the AI makes the process part easier, and it sort of amplifies what you're already doing. It's not replacing what you're doing. It's just sort of saying like, okay, as long as I'm going to make good content, I want to make sure it gets in front of as many people as possible. And I'm going to use AI to help me with that.
But you're talking about a video podcast.
Yeah. Well, it could be audio as well. I mean, it's the same, because it's like, all right, well, how can I take the audio podcast? Well, I'm going to go to my, Claude skill that I created and have them turn this podcast into a blog post and a Substack article and a LinkedIn and whatever. So I'm still expanding my content and trying to, expand my footprint, really, using AI to do that without having to do everything manually. Okay, now I have to go and write a new blog post about this podcast. So
right. Yeah.
If you have content, you might as well amplify it.
Yeah. Totally agree with you that repurposing, that's been my mantra for years.
Yeah.
Because it does, before AI even, yes. And it was much more labor intensive, that is for sure. So a question that I imagine you get, and that I wonder about, even though I'm deep in this, but also that I hear from clients is, how do I use AI, and in this case, video, to build trust without turning content creation into a full-time job? So you're talking about repurposing, but there's more that kind of comes at the end of the content creation, right? Or the initial piece of the content creation. So how do you work into the relevance piece? And how would you advise doing that on video?
Yeah. Before I even create the video now, I'm looking at AI and ChatGPT and Claude to say, can this message be tighter? Is there a different way to say this? Can you find me a case study that proves this point? So I'm sort of trying to embellish the prep and the script ahead of time, so that when I'm doing a video, I'm not wasting my time and I'm not rambling. And more importantly, I'm not wasting the viewer's time. So I'm using it really kind of throughout the whole process. I'll use it before for okay, is what I want to say as tight and concise as possible. And then during, because I'm using Descript to edit the video if it's not live, and then after to do all the repurposing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And before that would have been like, oh my God, this is going to take 3 weeks. And now it takes a half hour.
Yeah. Yeah. So research is an important piece, and framing what you want to say. Now, are you using a teleprompter, or do you just go, you just advise just know your topic and go?
Once in a while I do, if I know, like, okay, I have to get this right and it has to be just exactly what I want to say. But for the most part, I know the 2 or 3 points I want to make. And, I have this really high tech method called a sticky note on my computer. So much for AI.
Yeah. Well, so analog works too.
Yeah. But I think the thing that AI has brought us is basically speed and convenience. So one of the things that, because AI and video move so quickly, I wouldn't write books because I'm like, I don't have 18 months, by the time it's published. But now, honestly, this took, 3 weeks maybe to write. So, and, of course AI helped, but like AI did the entire cover. So I just said, this is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to tweak it a little bit because it's never just a copy paste thing. But, I'm like, oh my God, I would have had to go to a designer and do this and that and the other thing.
Right.
And now I'm just like, okay, I can bang out a book in a month if I need to, because I know I just have to get all the stuff in my head out to Claude, and Claude's going to help me organize it and, sort of parse it out and do all those fun things. And every once in a while, it'll come up with something I didn't think of. Like it came up with a line. I'm like, where did they get that? Because I don't think I ever said it. It said, people want viral videos, but virality is a lottery ticket and authority is a savings account. So I'm like, well, that's pretty good. So
that is pretty good.
And I think, it extracted it from my notes somehow, but I never would have sort of put it that way. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's not just taking my stuff. It's also, sort of massaging it and giving it different kinds of messaging. So
yeah.
That was good. And then at what point do you say, like, okay, I never said that, so I can't put it in? I mean, because sometimes you're still going to have to fight the hallucinations.
Right. Yeah. I haven't done the book thing, but a month, that's doable. Yeah.
I mean, you have the content. Now it's at the point where you just say, like, oh my God, I've got all these blog posts and all these Substack articles and all these videos. And if I put them all into Notebook LM, which is only going to take from those sources and not go outside, now I've got all this stuff in my head that it would have taken me a really long time to organize and finish the thoughts here and there. But, that's really my secret weapon is like Notebook LM. I'm going to take my brain and dump it in there and then see how I can rework it in Notebook LM.
I love Notebook LM. I love it. I mean, I use that for so much stuff, for extracting ideas and reformatting so that it's clear to work with. So yeah, that's good. So
and it doesn't, like sometimes the other ones, obviously, even now, it's like as good as Claude and ChatGPT have gotten. I had to sign up for a summit or something the other day, and I couldn't find my bio, and I'm like, just make another bio, and it said I was the vice president of distribution at Warner Brothers. I'm like, I don't know where they got that. I didn't get my check last week, if that's the case.
Well, they keep laying people off, so maybe you just were hired and you don't know it yet.
Yeah.
I have a good friend who worked many years at Warner. Oh my gosh.
So I don't know how it makes those connections or how it finds that stuff. It's like, okay, I've been on the Warner Brothers lot. That's about as close as I got to being the vice president of distribution.
Fantasy, right? A fantasy.
But again, that brings back the trust. If I start saying that, it's like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. So exactly. So video. Just keep coming back to the video part of this, because I know a lot of people are reluctant to do video or to be on video, and I don't have a problem with being on video. It's just I don't get around to it as often as probably I think I should, because like you're saying, I think, I totally agree that video a real of the people, like you're there, I'm here, this is really what we look like, how we sound.
Yeah.
I know that makes an impact. I mean, you can see it in engagement, you can see it in views and that sort of thing. So when you're thinking about that and how you are speaking with your clients and customers, like what kind of mistakes are they making that you have to sort of, bring them around to, to not to be a downer, but
a lot of it's just like leaving it on the hard drive and just not getting it out because they think it needs to be perfect or a certain way. I mean, I used to do these 10x video things where I'd do a Zoom interview and then create 10 videos for the people, for the clients, and give it all to them, totally ready to upload. It's like, look, I've done everything except hit the YouTube upload buttons. You have to do that part. So, and some of them just like, I'm like, you have 10 professional videos that say exactly what you need to say. All you have to do is post them. So It's so funny. It's like pulling teeth because sometimes people won't do that final step of saying, I'm not really sure I'm ready to put myself out there, even though these look good. So, it's just,
that's interesting.
I think people are still self-conscious about that stuff. I know. It's like people are doing these, obviously TikTok and Instagram Reels, and nobody's even thinking twice about just popping up a video. So It's like, just put it out there. What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? Your camera goes off.
Your camera could go off in the middle of a conversation. Yeah. I think perfection is overrated at this point when it comes to video.
It's especially now when there's just so much content out there. It's like, you know what? Just get it out there. It's somewhat perishable, so you may as well just put yourself out there. I'll try to fix my camera one more time, but so you can tell that this is live and not AI because of the glitches.
AI would never do this. Okay.
But speaking of that, it's like now I'm starting to leave errors in emails and mistakes so people know it's real. It's like this sort of anti-AI. Oh, I better leave that as it is. So, it's crazy, but it's like the same thing. Like I write a lot of emails with one line. I mean, that's the way I write. And now it's an AI giveaway. So I'm like, oh crap, now I have to write paragraphs instead of one line.
Well, it could be 2-sentence paragraphs, right? Yeah, I know it's overdone for sure. And that's kind of the problem with, relying too much on AI. I find that I'm probably editing more than I ever did, when I was not using AI. But
and that's even like, when I do the podcast, it's kind of like, well, okay, I can remove all the ums and ahs, but do I want to make it sound, that robotic or that like, okay, there's no mistakes in it because we're not perfect. Our cameras are going to go off mid-interview. So
Exactly. So if somebody hasn't been using video, maybe they've dabbled with AI, how would you advise they get started? They want to, they realize that, they need to do this.
Right. Live video is great because you don't have to edit it and you just put it out there and hope it goes well. I also am a big proponent of if you're doing an audio podcast, just turn the camera on. You're probably doing your interviews like we do on Zoom. And even if it's not perfect, okay, now you've got a visual element. Now you can go to YouTube. Now you can make YouTube shorts out of it. So it just gives you more flexibility. And the other thing is just, short form video that was so big a few years ago. You don't have to make a 5-minute video. You can make a 20-second video and start with that.
Yeah.
So the main thing is just
it's finding the right 20 seconds.
Oh, I know, right? But like now the only reason I use shorts is because I use shorts on YouTube to promote the longer podcast episode because people are more apt to discover or find these shorts and then go back to the video. So it's just also a great way to be findable.
Right. I've seen that short videos on YouTube get way more views really fast. And when I discovered that feature of being able to link it to the original, I was like, oh, perfect. So, yeah. Okay. So
my daughter says like, oh, I saw a video on Instagram. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't post to Instagram. Well, I posted to Facebook stories and they sent it to Instagram. So I didn't even know I was posting.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's fair.
All right. So you've got this book. The core idea of the book, yes, very good. I have the Kindle version, and I wanted to, like, oh well, it's going to take me too long to find the cover, but the core idea of it is around your AI video visibility system. So how do you put it all together? Like, you're talking about, just to get the whole thing as we wrap up, you connect getting seen, trusted, and paid. So in real life, what does that look like? Like, what would be an example of how that would look?
Well, when I work with my clients, I try to say, okay, where are their strengths, where are their weaknesses, really lean into the strengths. And I'll go through everything. I mean, before this would take a really long time, but now if I say, okay, I've got their LinkedIn, I've got their videos, I've got their whatever, I can do the same thing I do in Notebook LM and say, I'm going to create an online brand voice or an updated brand voice for this person using all of these materials. So again, it's sort of AI enhanced, but I know what the strategy is, but I'm using AI to speed up the process. And from that, we usually create like a 90-day plan where it's like, okay, for the first month, we're going to work on visibility. The second month, we're going to work on authority and trust. And the third month, we'll work on actually ROI and revenue. So I don't know why my camera just keeps deciding to go off.
And what does that look like in the, I mean, just as an example, what does that look like from when you're working on visibility? Is that creating the content or a distribution plan, and calls to action for the revenue? I mean, just get a sense of how it all works together.
Yeah. It's when, again, if I, maybe we've created a series of videos, like I have a real estate client in San Diego and she has a particular niche for relocation and things like that. So we've done a whole series because she felt like she was, oh, I'm just not keeping up and I don't know if people are seeing me. So again, after we created 10 videos, now we can start to repurpose that. We can put it in all different places. She's taking the scripts from the videos and I show her how to make, articles and blog posts out of that. So we're just, essentially cutting down what would have been a year-long process to about 3 months.
Wow.
So again, we're using AI for convenience and speed, but we're still using, human strategy and all the things that we've known and learned over the last X amount of years to make sure that the strategy is on track.
Okay, very good. And you also have a diagnostic tool that you created. You want to talk a little bit about that?
And like many things, I started to create it for myself. And I've been, a little bit obsessed with Claude, Cowork, and Lovable to make apps and assessments and quizzes and things like that. So I did this impossible to ignore quiz, survey, assessment. And it basically kind of tells you, okay, here's where you're doing really well. Here's where you're not doing so well. Here's where you can improve. Because I'm trying to give people like low-hanging fruit. What's the easiest way for me to get up to speed or to make sure that I'm in the conversation and not being dismissed? And part of it was because I'm tired of all these 25-year-old blondes like my daughter, getting all the attention on YouTube and Instagram. And they're like, hey, I want a little piece of that action. So, and I'm not 25 or blonde, so I don't have that advantage.
So if somebody takes this assessment, what are they going to learn about themselves?
They'll really kind of see like, okay, here's some areas where you can make some quick wins, and here are some areas where you're weaker and you need to concentrate on. So it just sort of gives you a snapshot of like, okay, today, where do I stand in terms of relevance and trust and visibility, and basically, how much or how little we're using AI. Again, because I think a lot of people are either feeling like, oh, I'm way behind, I'll never catch up, or there's too much, it's too overwhelming. But, you don't have to do all of AI. You just have to decide, okay, I'm going to use Claude to help me create better video scripts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's great. That's worth the $20 a month that you're going to pay for Claude or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as I was telling you when we were in the green room, I've been feeling a little phobo, fear of becoming obsolete, because it is hard to keep up with everything, even though I feel like I'm in it like 24/7. Well, maybe not 24/7, but 18/7. So AI was my strongest pillar in the diagnostic, and the others are maybe I was being too hard on myself in the way I answered them. But I think what it comes down to on all of this is that you need to be willing to adapt and be curious and try new things. It doesn't mean you have to be the expert in AI or the expert in video. I mean, you're the expert, so you can help people with that. And I think that that's really a key piece, is that if you don't want to become obsolete, then you got to keep up, and to a degree. You don't have to be in the front. You don't have to be the first one. But, find the people who you trust and who you know are credible and have, done what you want to do. Like, stay, for example, you and I are ahead on the path, because we've been doing online marketing for so long. That doesn't mean we're the experts at AI, but we know quite a bit because we jumped in it. Like me, I jumped in.
I mean, sometimes I say to my clients, I'd say, like, I'm only 10 minutes ahead of you guys. And sometimes that's enough,
Yeah, exactly.
Because I realize, like, not everybody can do, like, I'm in this AI course. It's like 10 hours a week of classes. I'm like, oh my God, this is where all my time's going. But like, I'll say, I'll keep up with all this crap and I'll sort through it all and tell you what's important and what you could ignore.
Right. And I think that's a lot of what people are looking for now, is that guide who can take them by the hand and get them through this when that's not their expertise. Their expertise is something completely different, right? So I think that's important. So before we wrap up, any final thoughts about working, helping people, what people can be doing right now to sort of make sure that they've got their credibility and authority and trust going well?
Right. Yes. First of all, don't panic about AI. It's not as scary as some people think. And I think this is like a once in a generation shift. This is like, the Industrial Revolution, or when they built the printing press. I mean, this is really going to change the way everybody does business and life, like it or not, for better or worse. It's here and it's not going away. And I think the quicker we make peace with that, the better off we'll all be. Yes,
I agree. All right, Lou, thank you so much for spending this time with me.
Thank you. Sorry about my camera. Sorry about my $800 camera there. So that's the other thing. You only need a phone to make video.
That's right. That's right. You don't need the whole crazy setup. I mean, I just have a webcam here, but you can do it with any tool. And originally Substack lives were only on your phone. You couldn't even be on a desktop. So we've come a long way here.
Right.
I really appreciate you, Lou. And I've been following along with you for a long time, and I learn as much from you as especially about video. So
the feeling is mutual, because I'm you were one of my very first and longest mentors. So thanks for that.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, friends, thank you for joining us today. Links to the diagnostic and the book will be in the show notes. Probably I'll publish that tomorrow. And we'll also have a summary or transcript, however. Substack makes it really easy. Just want to say this as a final note. Doing a live on Substack everything is done for you. They create clips for you. If you hook up your YouTube account, it'll automatically send it to your YouTube account. So, this is if you want to get started with some video, if you haven't been doing video much, like I haven't been doing it much, this is kind of one of my attempts to say, okay, like, just get on the video, call your friends, they're all smart.
What can happen? Your camera turns off every 10 minutes. So.
But your audio was there, so we kept on going. That's the other thing. Just keep on going.
Yep. The show must go on.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Denise.
you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.